Capital Market and Securities Law (CMSL) is the trickiest subject of the entire CS Executive program, with a lot of enactments and regulations made by the Securities and Exchange Board of India. With so many complicated, complex rules and regulations as well as concepts, how can you complete the entire syllabus just before exams? Seems difficult, right? But what if we look at a possibility of completing 60% of the syllabus in just 30 days? I will be guiding you through a stepwise procedure of completing the most important chunk, that is 60% of the syllabus, in 30 days. I will also share with you a list of important chapters from CMSL that is going to fetch you maximum marks based on the previous ICSI question papers. If you don't know me, I am Swati Sharma, Company Secretary by profession and a faculty at Ekcel Academy, where we provide guidance and coaching to the students so that they can complete the entire CS course. Let's just get started in identifying how we can complete 60% of the syllabus in just 30 days. At the end of this video, you must feel a little relaxed, tension-free, and get the feeling that I can do it too. So let's just get started. So if you want to identify what is the 60% of the syllabus, first we have to go through the syllabus of CMSL. The entire syllabus is divided into two parts, part 1 and part 2. If we talk about 60% of the syllabus, we have total of 18 chapters in the syllabus. 60% of 18 comes up to close to 10.8, approximated to 11 chapters. So we have to focus on how we can complete these 11 chapters over a duration of 30 days period. Right? So I am going to take you through the stepwise procedure in identifying how we can do it on the basis of part 1 as well as part 2. Right? So we'll see and look at both the parts separately. Now, if you want to complete a chunk of the syllabus in a given duration of time, our duration timeline being 30 days, we have to follow a stepwise procedure. What is that? This entire process is divided into 3 steps. First is analyze, second one is categorize, and third one is planning that categorization into your timeline duration. So what are we going to do? We are going to analyze, we are going to categorize, and we are going to plan the 30-day duration. What are we going to analyze? We are going to analyze the weightage of chapters. How? We are going to look at it. We are going to categorize the chapters on the basis of the weightage and segregate the chapters, and then on the basis of our analysis and segregation and categorization, we are going to set weekly goals and targets for the 30-day duration. Now let's look at the first step. First step says analysis. What are you required to do? You are required to analyze the weightage. What do we mean by weightage? Weightage means over a given duration of time on various attempts of the institute, one chapter carries how many marks? For example, chapter 1 carries approximately 15 marks on average in every paper. Chapter 2 carries approximately 11 marks over a given duration of time. So this is the weightage. What is the marks that can be asked from one particular chapter in the question paper? So you have to identify the weightage of the chapters based on the previous ICSI question papers. So how are we going to do this? Firstly, you are going to open the ICSI website, go and check the previous ICSI question papers, spend some time and identify which question falls from which chapter and what is the marks that are being asked, right? You can also refer to the already existing scanners in which weightage analysis has already been done. You might ask, ma'am, when already in the scanners they have provided us the weightage, they have done our job, then why do you expect us to do that and put the efforts again in identifying the weightage? That is because you will get to know the kind of questions that the institute is asking from a particular question. You will learn a lot more than just looking at the scanner sheet. So it is going to help and add on to the preparation level for the exam. So I suggest that you yourself sit and see previous year question papers, spend some time and do this analysis. In addition to that, you can also take the help of the scanners and create this analysis of how much marks one particular chapter carries. Once you have done the analysis, then we are going to move to the second step, that is categorization. What is categorization? You have drawn the weightage. One chapter carries 11 marks, one chapter carries 6 marks, one chapter carries 2 marks, one chapter carries 1 mark. So you have a list of chapters which are going to have some weightage in the exam. On the basis of this weightage, categorize the chapters into very important, and neutral or other chapters. Okay, so we are going to create 3 categories: very important chapters, other chapters. Now, what we are going to do is, this category A and category B is the 60% of the syllabus that we are going to focus on in completing within the duration of 30 days. Now, what about the other chapter? Should you not study at all? No, you should study this, but after completing the 60% of the syllabus, after that you should focus on the remaining 40% of the syllabus. Here our target is not to study only 60%. Our target is to finish 60% within 30 days time and the remaining 40% in over a other duration of time, because we want to complete the most important segment. We want to complete those chapters which carry the maximum weightage within 30 days, and the remaining chapters can wait. We will complete that after completing the important chapters. So this is the categorization that you should do on the basis of the analysis that you have done. So first step is analyzing the weightage. Second step, on the basis of your analysis, categorize the chapters into various categories. Very important chapters, These 2 categories are going to constitute the 60% of your syllabus, and part 3, that is the third category, is going to be the other remaining 40% of your syllabus. Now, next, after you have done the categorization, what are we going to do? We have a list of chapters, both very important and important chapters. Clubbing all these chapters together, we are going to set a weekly goal, weekly target. When we talk about 30 days, it comes up to close to 28 days. So we are going to take as 30 days. You are going to have 4 weeks, right? 1 month to complete this entire 60% of your syllabus. So you are going to set weekly targets, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and identify the chapters that you have to complete in that particular week to reach the ultimate goal of completing the entire 60% of the important syllabus of CMSL. Towards the end of the video, I will also give you this timetable, what you should study in week 1, week 2, week 3 and week 4. So this is the step procedure of completing your syllabus in 30 days duration. You can do it provided you follow this plan, you follow the deadline, you follow the schedule with a lot of discipline. So let's just identify what are the important chapters in CMSL. Like I told you, we don't have to focus only on the 60% of the syllabus. You have to mandatorily study the entire 100% of the syllabus if you want to score well. We are identifying important chapters on the basis of the previous year question papers. But there might be a possibility that those chapters that come under the 40% of the syllabus which we have categorized as other chapters, Institute will definitely ask questions from those chapters as well. You cannot ignore or neglect those chapters. It is just that we are going to give more focus on the important chapters. We are going to complete it, and then the remaining chapters are going to be studied. So yes, you have to study the entire 100% of the syllabus, but first we are going to focus on completing the important chapters. Your first focus is completing the important chapters 60%, and then we will look at the remaining 40% of the syllabus. So yes, please don't think that we are telling that you should study only 60% and go and appear for the exam. No, that is absolutely wrong. There is a possibility that you have neglected 40% of the syllabus, and in the exam you're getting more questions from those chapters itself. That is going to be a disaster. So what we say is study 100%, but give extra attention and focus to the important chapters that are being guided through. So let's just get started in identifying the important chapters. Now, like I told you, the entire syllabus is divided into part A, part B, part 1 and part 2. I'm going to give you the list of important chapters also on the basis of part. So let's identify important chapters from part A. It is On the basis of priority, I am saying on the basis of weightage, I have categorized it. Most important one being basics of capital market, Chapter 2 secondary market, Chapter 4 Securities and Exchange Board of India, and Chapter 6 Securities Market Intermediaries. These are the 4 important chapters that are very important for scoring marks from part A of the syllabus. Other chapters from part A, this comes under the 40% of the remaining syllabus which you have to study, but after completing the first initial 4 chapters. Chapter 5, Chapter 7 and Chapter 3. These are the other chapters, remaining chapters that you have to focus afterwards, after completing the initial 4 chapters. From part B, if we talk, we have important regulations, important chapters, Chapter 11 LODR regulations, Chapter 8 ICDR regulations, Chapter 9 share-based employee benefit and sweat equity regulations, Chapter on mutual fund, very important for practical questions. Definitely over a period of time, Institute has constantly been asking numerical questions from this particular chapter. Mandatorily in every paper, there is one question, numerical question on mutual funds, PIT regulations, delisting regulations and SAST regulations. Again, I have interchanged the chapters because this is in the order of priority. What carries more weightage, I have put it over and down. This carries lesser, SAST carries lesser than LODR regulation. So again, I have given on the basis of the weightage. Does not mean that you have to study in the same order. You have to study all these chapters. It can be as per your own understanding. It can be as per your own plan of action. Now, other chapters which are not very important but you have to study later on is buyback regulations, prohibition of fraudulent and unfair trade practices regulations, collective investment scheme and issue and listing of non-convertible instruments. So, these are the chapters that you have to segregate and categorize on the basis of the list that I have provided. Is it really possible to complete 11 chapters, that is 60% of your syllabus, just over a given duration of 30 days? The answer is yes, you can absolutely do it, but on certain assumptions that I am making, that you are a full-time student and you have time in hand that you can study for a duration of say 7 or 8 hours in a given day. Second one is that you know something about the syllabus. If you are just opening the books now, you're just seeing through the syllabus now. You don't even know what is Securities and Exchange Board of India. You don't know anything about the syllabus, then it is possible, but it is going to be slightly difficult to complete it within a duration of 30 days. But if you already have an idea, you have gone through, you have done one reading, it is very, very easy to complete it within the duration of 30 days. And lastly, if you want to complete the 60% of the syllabus in 30 days, you can do so only by using efficient and effective tools and techniques. We have already put a lot of videos previously on the tools and techniques of studying well. There is Pomodoro technique, there is spaced revision, there is taking mock exam, there is writing practice. If you want these videos, you can WhatsApp us on 973-973-3400. We will send you across these videos of how you can incorporate these techniques into your study process so that your efficiency increases and how you can study more in a short given span of time. So yes, you can let us know if you want these videos. Next. Now, let's plan the 30 days because I've told you that I'll help you complete 60% of the syllabus in 30 days. I've given you already a list of important chapters and other chapters. So, we have identified 11 important chapters that we have to complete over a 30 days duration. So, let's see what is the schedule going to be like for us over the given period. Like I told you, this entire 30 days we have segregated into 4 weeks, 7 days duration each. So, in the first 7 days, that is week 1, we are going to focus on completing part A because that is the foundation of the subject. Without understanding the basics of the market, classification of the market, kind of instruments and the like concepts, it is very difficult to understand the regulations. So, you should lay your foundation strong. So, I am going to begin the first week by completing 2 important chapters which are also very lengthy. That is why I have kept only 2 chapters. That is basics of capital market and the secondary market in India. data. So this covers the classification as well as the primary market, and second one is the secondary market. These two chapters are very, very important and high weighted chapters in the question paper. So I've kept and limited it only to 2 because these are actually lengthy as well as very important. So this is the plan that you should do, how you're going to complete 2 chapters over a given duration of 7 days. For our week 2, we are going to concentrate on completing 3 chapters. One is the SEBI Act, next is the chapter on intermediaries, and next one is the ICDR regulations. Now these two are general theoretical chapters. There are not a lot of unrealistic concepts, or there are not complicated provisions under both these chapters. What you have to focus on in this week is the ICDR regulations, because this is something new. This is something that is going to have complicated regulations. This is something where you have to remember the eligibility criteria. So I have clubbed the chapters in a way where you will have some easy chapters and you are going to have some complicated chapters. So here SEBI Act and chapter on intermediaries is predominantly general theory based, not a lot of rules, regulations and provisions, whereas ICDR regulation is very complicated, so I have clubbed that with the easier chapters. So this is what you have to complete in week 2 over a given duration of 7 days. Third week, we are going to move forward and focus on share-based employee benefit and sweat equity regulations, LODR regulations and PIT regulations. So out of this, all the 3 chapters are kindly neutral, not very lengthy, not very complicated, easy to understand, but also very important from examination point of view. So this is the order that you have to follow. Again, depending upon your interest level, you can also interchange it as per your requirement. And lastly, in week 4, we are going to have 10 days period, extra days, because 4 weeks, 7, you'll get 28 days. 2 extra days you'll get because it is a month of 30 days, right? So you're going to get 2 extra days. In those 2 extra days, why have I kept again only 3 chapters? Because I've included one chapter being the chapter on mutual fund, for which you require extra preparation because you have to actually practically solve a lot of numerical questions, and that you can develop only by practice. So you will require a lot of practice for the sum related practical questions, numerical questions, number based question, formula based question. So I've given certain extra number of days for that one particular chapter. So in the 4th week, we are going to concentrate on completing mutual funds, delisting regulations and SAST regulations. Okay, so this is the format, this is the timetable that you have to follow in case you want to complete 60% of your syllabus in 30 days. That is nothing but just 11 chapters over a given duration of 30 days. It might seem unrealistic, but actually if you put it in simple terms, if you actually plan for it, if you actually sit and segregate the chapters, it is easily achievable and you can do so with very, very easy manner. Yes. Now, what is the resource that you're going to follow for completing this syllabus? That is a big chunk of 60%. Now, you should first and foremost remember that it is the institute that sets the question paper. You should keep your base material as the ICSI study material, because ultimately whatever questions are going to be framed, it is going to be framed on the basis of your ICSI material. So what are the concepts, what are the headings, what are the subheadings, which regulation has been covered in the material, which regulation is not important, all that you will be able to identify from the base material, that is your ICSI material. In addition to that, you should always study the provisions of any enactment, provisions of any rules and regulations by keeping the bare act along with it. It's only for easy understanding of the concept. At times, you get confused about the way the things have been put in the ICSI textbook. So if you're studying the ICSI textbook along with your bare act, it only makes it easier for understanding, right? Now, that is the base material, but sometimes if you look at the base material as well as your bare acts, the language used is complicated. The direct copy paste of the provisions of law has been provided, but explanation to that has not been provided in your ICSI material. Neither the Bare Act is going to have the explanation. For such complicated things, you should have your own self-made notes. Or if you do not have the habit of making a handwritten notes, you can also refer to the coaching material or any material that is given to you by your institutions where you're taking your coaching, right? Ideally, you should make your own notes, because your notes are the best notes. You can understand better what you have written, right? So that is the ideal situation. But if you don't have it, it's absolutely okay. You can follow the coaching material that is being given in your institute. And lastly, most important thing which is always skipped by the students is old question papers of the institute. As and when you complete one chapter, refer the previous year question papers and see what all questions have been asked on that one particular chapter, and try to answer it, whether I'm able to give an answer to this particular question or not. That will give you the confidence that okay, I know this, okay, I know this. That gives only boosts the confidence level and motivates you to study better. So these are the 4 things that you should have in hand when you're going to prepare yourself for completing the 60% of the syllabus. Now, with this, I'm just giving you the feeling that I can do it too. It's not impossible. You can achieve it. It is doable. It is just that you have to maintain certain level of discipline, and you should meet the targets that you're setting for yourself in the given 30-day duration. Make a timetable week-wise, set weekly goals and achieve it. That is only going to keep you motivated in completing the remaining weeks with most successful manner. So with this, we are confidently telling you that you can complete the 60% of the syllabus in 30-day duration, and the remaining 40% of the syllabus you can cover it over a other given duration of time. But by focusing on this 60%, you are focusing on high weighted chapters, which will definitely help you score more marks in the ICSI exam. All the best, do well and prepare well for your exams.